Morning, John Neal here, and it is Wednesday the 9th of November 2022, and I'm going for a bike ride. Tell you more about it in a minute. Well, I'm getting slightly ahead of myself here because I'm on to the first feature before I've told you what I'm going to do. And that is, let me stop. The point is walking with it. Why am I walking and trying to talk to you? Let's get out the wind and see what we can do. Well, my mission today is to go the full length of the Weddington Walk. Well, that's a jolly good start, isn't it? Sounds like I'm at the bottom of a well somewhere, screaming to get out. Just tell you again then, doing the Weddington Walk from top to bottom, I'll take the drone and see what I can see. These fields near Higham Lane are going to be built on soon, so I'm looking at the one in front of me, which has just been ploughed completely, and it did have potatoes in, and now it's been ploughed again, so I presume that's not going to be done immediately. And then behind me is a field that was excavated by archaeologists because we're fairly close to the Watling Street, the Roman road. So I thought I'd take the drone up here and show you what they've been up to. You can see they've excavated on the left hand side of the lane and all of this field. It's quite a large area that they've dug up. I don't know what they found exactly, and beyond this clump of trees too. Here you can see the water-filled holes which are still there. Here's a still photographic tip, in fact works with videos too. If you see somebody wearing red, put them in one of the third sections of a picture with all the greens and the trees and the grass. Looks quite nice. Passing through the village of Higham on the Hill. Well, this was the only pub in the village, the Oddfellows Arms, and I have to say I refurbished that sign, and I did originally do all these signs on the outside here as well, these chalkboards. But the pub is now closed, and this is the theme really of the building that's going on in this area. But it's all decided by boundaries. I've just crossed the A5, of course, which has now put me into Leicestershire. And so any building that's going to go on will be the other side, which is Warwickshire. But even then, there are boundaries, like the Weddington Old Railway is a boundary between, shall we build this side or the other, and they seem to keep one or the other going. However, let's press on because, I must say this much, I'm being very cautious with the drone, so I must have it available next Monday because the BBC TV are going to talk to me and film me about the charity calendar of the roundabouts of Nuneaton which I made. So if I crash the drone today, which is always possible, I'll be very annoyed with myself, so I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to do some shots down here actually where there's no cables, fairly open and fairly quiet road.
I have a thing for darkness, but you can see with your mind. Even when I have my doubts, you say your love isn't blind. So I can give you shelter, but am I a part of your goals? Maybe none of it matters, 'cause I don't want to let go. I never meant to break a promise, I never meant to run away, but you know how to skip the madness, and I can only press replay whatever you see.
I'm going to name this Graffiti Tunnel, to be honest. It's a passageway underneath the A5 where the railway used to come along. probably lower than this, of course, and then off in that direction, north towards Aspid de la Zouche. Now, there's an interesting story here because what happened before this had all been concreted over, as you can see, it was really quite rough, hadn't been developed into a proper pathway. And as you can see, it's a haunt of local youth. And it so happens about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I think it was, some of them were here and just passing time, chilling out, and they lit a fire down here, which is fair enough, sitting around a fire with your mates, great. The only trouble was, it was on top of a gas main, and they caused a bit of an emergency, to be honest, and then they weren't going to close this down because it's good access to the top end of the road here and the crossing for the cycleway that goes through underneath the A5. So they're not going to close it off. They concreted it over, which is why it is like it is. There's the tunnel, graffiti tunnel, and here are the gas main markers. So whether they redirected it or just marked them up properly, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm standing on one as well. Gas. And another one. So there's a major gas main coming through. You see, this route is just full of adventure and intrigue. And there's something down here I want to show you. Yeah, previously when I did this walkway, the disused railway, there's one vital bit which is still left from the railway, and that's this. And it's an incline marker. So that way is downhill. Not as much as that, 1 in 200. And that way going uphill. Yeah, looks nice with the ivy on it. Well, it's drone time again, and I'm going over a field just south of the A5, the Watling Street, and to the west of the Weddington Walkway. And this is MIRA, the main buildings of the Motor Industry Research Association place. It's got other names now. But look at the bottom left on that roundabout, there's a road that goes in, just into the field, doesn't go anywhere. And I do believe they're going to develop the rest of MIRA into this field. So there's some more development that's going to take place. Anyway, pressing on, more things to see. This crossing, which has forced me to walk across the road, used to be a bridge for the railway, which went from over there to over here. So it means that I've come down one slope of it and now I've got to go up the other. And I know that if I get into my bottom gear and I don't slip around too much, I can cycle up there. Oh, by the way, look, National Cycle Network, somebody's been thinking about it. Ooh. Ah, no, it's slipping. Bugger. Help. Oh, leaves on the track. Couldn't do it. talk. It's all to do with talk too much. So here we are on the second leg of the Weddington Walk, the south side, or was it west side, of the Weddington Road, which at one point is called Weddington Lane and later on called Weddington Road, so I'm not sure which is which. But it's curious how windy it is. I said how the tarmac is excellent, but look at this. In the autumn it is absolutely covered in leaves, which has prevented me from showing my athletic prowess and going up that hill. And next to the surface is quite slippy, so you've got to be careful. Lovely trees here, look at this. Wow. Another slightly curious feature of these things is that they do spend money on them. Look, because here there's some rather nice seats. You know, old-fashioned seats, but you know, quite modern ones. And this one perched on as a backrest onto this, which has got etched into it Weddington Walk. Very nice. Another one over there. But once they're done, they're just left to be as they are, not maintained in any way. Got yellow, purple paint on it, or mauve coloured paint. Anyway, over here, look. There's and they have put a rail around to stop you falling off the edge. But there's a big concrete foundation, and I presume a bit of a wall here, because this is where there have been tiles down, look. Oh, and there's some tiles already left. It's been archaeological here, you see, to try and work out what was going on. But there was a railway building here of some sort. And looking over the edge, trying not to get all the litter in, over which there's a certain amount. There's a brick there with a name on it. Bagger Ridge. I wonder what that is. Google, come to my help. Well, here's something I don't usually do. I've done some on the hoof research. Don't you love it? Looked in Wikipedia. And Bagger Ridge was the fourth largest brick manufacturer in the UK, started in 1944. It's quite late, really. A lot of them started back in the Nuneaton ones were in the 19th century, and famous for their blue bricks, taken over by an Austrian company later on. Gosh, the trivia, don't you like it? No? Right, just pulling over near the Weddington Church over there. Look, St James's, and these are the new houses. Not so long ago, I can remember that was all fields. And this is a big pond to cope with the drainage and the water, rainwater, which then will issue down onto this flat land over here where the river is. The river anchor's just down there. And yeah, they've actually kept a fair number of the big trees. Here's one over here, which you can clearly see, but there are one or two in the middle of the estate, which they've kept as well. It's quite a nice view, isn't it? Well, this is the River Anchor, and these fields here, I trust, will never be built upon because they flood. They flood right over each year, some quite dramatically. So they're pretty safe, really. As we make our way along here, we're getting closer to Nuneaton and some of the junctions where the railway split off into different directions. In fact, over this side, there are more trees, because that's where another railway went off that way. And all the way down here, oh, some well-lit cyclists, good on them. As we get closer, we'll hear some of the railways as well. Hello.
You okay?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you. just asked me if I was okay because I'd stopped. I'm of the opinion nowadays that, yeah, I'll go on a bike ride, but it's not how far you go, but stop off and have a look and see what's around, which is what I'm doing today. So I'm not making much progress in terms of distance, but soaking up all the bits and pieces and details that you can see. Anyway, it's nice of him to ask, wasn't it? And then along this stretch on the left, there's a serious bit of fencing put up here, look. And a somewhat curious sign which says, private property, please keep out. Popular with local lads, might be the last, I don't know. There's just a clear walkway through. And in fact, the building's gone anyway. Well, I told you it's a popular place for graffiti artists or writers. Somebody objected to one or the other term, I don't know which. I'll call them artists. And here's the brick wall that was theirs. I'd say theirs, that they commissioned. These are concrete blocks which were covers for the cables that went along the side of the railway. I say cables, probably some metal rods as well to make the signals work. But I'm thinking, I've just realised, well, I've only just realised this, that they might well be an inspiration for the design of those of the black metal ones that I saw back there. And these have been scattered here and they're just right for sitting on. So I'd like to think they were. In fact, I'll say they are. These blocks here were an inspiration to make those metal seats back there. It's true. I've said it. I'm going to put it on Google and then it's got to be true. Start a trend here. Conspiracy theory. As I just walked off the derelict farm site, there were some interesting plants there. And now, since I'm on a mission to point out details, I think this is a badger set. Badgers love to make their sets on a slope, so when they dig their stuff out the hole and the set, it falls away from the hole. And I think that's what we've got here, look. Let's have a closer look. Certainly lots of holes, but the soil's very loose. Not totally convinced it's a badger set. The holes are not big enough. The ones I've seen in the past would have been less frequent, just, you know, 5 or 6 of them, and lots of debris brought out of them. This is almost, I mean, look at this. It's not even soil, it's what the railway was constructed with. So, good try, John, but maybe not. Try my way back down here now. Oof, crikey. I'm not as young as I used to be. Can't everybody say that? Oh, some more of them. And over here is the live railway, the real one. Quite a major one too, actually. Yes, that said Statesman Kitchen Car. Looked like a historical piece. Never knew that was coming by. Little treat for the end of the journey. Because this is the end of the journey. Look, This little walkway down here takes us to the end of the road. And strangely, on this side, this, I don't know how expensive it is, but it's a very effective metal fence. Stops you going onto the railway, which is right. And on this side, it stops you going into that field, which I've just walked straight into by walking through a hole in the hedge. So it's pointless. So now it's no good at all. Well, maybe a deterrent. Yeah. Well, I'm going to call that the end of this little trip. So I hope you enjoyed this little adventure, digging out some of the details along the Weddington Walk here in Nuneaton, in the middle of England, on a cloudy, I'll say it's cloudy now, November day. Anyway, thanks, hope you enjoyed it, and here's to next time. Okay, bye-bye. And the noise in the corner, by the way, is this little stream which runs into the River Anchor. It's not exactly Lake District, is it? But the best we got.